Welcome back to the DashBack. It's been a minute. It's been about a month since our last episode. This is episode 5 of the DashBack. We got a lot to talk about. Matt, how are you feeling?
Pretty good. Pretty good, I'll say. The holiday season was like a little crazy.
Yup.
Like news kept coming. We had after Platfight, we were like, yeah, we're gonna do one, but then we had a couple other things to work on, and then we both got sick, and then let's make big moves happen, and it all just this
Yeah.
episode is necessary.
We got a lot to talk about. We got Platfight. We got the last coin box ever. What? We got
Yeah,
let's
not
make big
clickbait.
moves. But there's something I'm very excited to talk about.
Oh yeah.
Something
Oh
I'm so
yeah.
excited to talk about, and his name is Etalus.
The
Etalus is
bear.
coming back in about 2 weeks, just under 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Etalus will be rejoining the cast of Rivals of Aether, Rivals of Aether 2, the first post-launch fighter. And I'm super excited about this because I was an Etalus one trick in Rivals 1. Matt, how do you feel about this?
I so you were an Etalus one trick in Rivals 1, and you were the
Yes.
person I fought the most, which means
Mhm.
Etalus was the character I was losing to the most. So at first I was like, I just can't believe I have a lot of thoughts about Etalus. I have a lot of thoughts. We had a very long conversation about Etalus
Yes,
when he
we did.
first dropped.
Yes, we did.
Um and I think like all I'm gonna get at is this character is this character's all over the place. This character is cracked out of his mind. And so
Yeah.
if it was like kind of surprising to me at first that they were putting him in so early, I think the sentiment on like Twitter afterwards was that this is going to be a culling. This is going to be the great filter.
Yeah.
A lot of people anticipate a lot of other people dropping the game after Etalus comes out.
Well, I
Which
think that
I don't
was
think it's going to be the case,
that
but
was definitely the initial reaction, but I think actually the reaction is half the community is gonna main Etalus from now on.
You're super right. You're super right.
Because
Like,
everyone seems to be like,
yeah.
this guy looks silly, this looks hilarious, I want to play the bear. And that makes me pretty happy because nobody played Etalus in Rivals 1.
Oh my god,
We
I'm
had
losing
Lore
it watching
Bagel,
what's going
Bullets,
on.
full stream a long time ago, Soul Rifle sometimes for some reason. And now it
Yeah,
seems like everyone wants to play the bear, which is great.
yeah. It seems like we're gonna. I know we touch on this later, but I think ZB is gonna be the best rep of this
Yes.
character.
ZB, and I think
For sure.
Soul Rifle is also probably gonna switch to the Etalus, um, just because didn't really vibe with Maple, then switched off the
Yeah,
locks, went to the Forest Burn, of course. Um, but Etalus was his secondary in Rivals 1, so we might just
I deadass didn't know that. That's actually
really,
crazy. That's actually
yeah.
crazy. Yeah, no. So Rifer was my favorite player to watch, and I just didn't even know that.
He
That's
made some
crazy.
top eights going Etalus only, just for fun, I guess.
Okay. Okay, regardless, I mean, this character I'm very excited. I'm kind of lighting a fire into my ass. I'm working on like 2 videos at once right now.
Mhm.
And one of them I want to have within the first week Etalus comes out. I want a how to beat Etalus guide. I want to make it. I want to devote myself to the craft of beating Etalus because he is so frustrating to fight against. This is my grudge with Etalus. This is my grudge with
Yeah.
Etalus. It's nothing new. In fact, it's the point of the character. But Etalus is a super heavy
Mhm.
that just gets everything he wants. Like this character's cracked out of his mind. Dude, think about the aerials for a second. Think about the aerials. We'll start with Nair because it's the simplest. It's just like fucking the best Nair. It's just like
It's
it's just
so
the
good.
best Nair. It's
Arcane's is also kind of
incredible.
crazy in this game, though.
That's true, but Etalus is much bigger.
Mhm.
Um, I imagine frame data wise it'll be pretty similar, probably like
Yeah,
4 or 5. The combo
but
potential, I
more
think it's going to
combo
be
for
much
sure.
higher. So it's just this huge thing that you have to deal with as he's
Mhm.
flying at you like a missile. You know, like super heavies are intended to do.
Yeah, they're
And
supposed to
so
slide across the stage at
it's
Mach
crazy.
10.
Non-committal, by the way, super non-committal. You can jump out of it, confirmed.
Yeah,
And
jump out of death,
like, so
wave
that's the
dash out
crazy
of it,
thing.
whatever you want out of it.
down air is a multi-hit that spikes you. Okay. I've
Mhm.
seen a lot of multi-hit down airs in my day that aren't supposed to spike you. Like palm down air, I think is a great example.
Yeah.
Etalus is way bigger. It puts you in the blender where you can hit fall after hit 1 or 2 if you want to
Yep.
jam them, or go with the 3 hit, and now they're in a tech chase, which Etalus excels at. And one of the reasons he excels at, I'll jump to the strong attack part of my rant, is because his strong, for a character that is this fast and this strong, like the moves are supposed to be precise, they're supposed to be small, but you look at his strong attacks and it's just he's just throwing, he's just running around, just hitting
Yep.
things. It's ridiculous. I think it's like the amount, like there's a clip in the trailer of someone getting like F-stronged on a platform, and it just covers all options, I think, including the get up attacks, because it has armor on it with the ice armor. It's
Yes.
strongs become
Yes. They
projectiles.
also have projectiles.
They just,
It's not like Rano's F strong.
it's like,
It won't kill you, but it
it
does
won't
do
kill
damage.
you. It will not kill you. Yeah. Holy. Oh
It's
my god.
it's crazy.
Oh my god. Why is he so short, by the way, when he's doing this strong attack? It's ridiculous. The armor is ridiculous. It's also non-committal. You get all the benefits of armor without having to actually throw out the move and get punished for it. You just get, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
They better balance the ice armor in this game. I had a feeling it wasn't balanced at Rivals 1. Oh my god, but he has a silly ledge special, so everyone loves him. Like, and a good taunt. It's just insane.
And also,
It's
he has the most cartoonish movement. It's like, oops, all
Yeah.
smear frames.
Yeah, it's very,
Just his animations are very silly. He's very silly. I'm super happy he's coming to the game, obviously.
yeah. A lot of people are super happy. This is a net positive. Yeah. I think this is the type of character that you can always boil it down. Like, against my better judgment, you can kind of always boil down losing to, I mean, we're gonna see in the video I make, but like,
Well,
he's a heavy. Like, tighten your combos.
Yeah.
Make him recover to the wall. Ledges are super good for him in this game because he still has armor on the up B, so you can like armored recovery to ledge. It's gonna be a little crazy, but ultimately you're right. He's cartoonish, he's silly, he's big, he's fun. I think that it's gonna be a net positive. I think a lot of people are going to love playing this character, and
Yeah.
I will grind so hard until I never lose again. So,
is there anything else about in the Christmas Q&A we'd like to hit on here? We had Santa come in, the real Santa Claus came in to share all sorts of gifts and presents and the new character, of course.
yeah.
But is there anything else in that that you think is worth mentioning for the viewers at home to know?
Yeah, I watched it back today. A lot of it was like people asking when stuff is going to happen, and then him giving like a rough estimate. So stuff
Yep.
like the fully realized rank mode with like rewards and stuff for climbing, that's going to come around Marchish. He said end of Q1. Pallets for skins are coming, but like it's a very low priority, but they are still like confirmed going to add in.
Okay. I'm gonna turn on audio monitoring to see if see if we can help diagnose the issue.
Yeah, I have it up on my phone,
Okay.
and we're making sounds.
We're making noises.
But I
don't know
can
if
hear
it's in
myself
sync.
in the
Yeah,
thing now,
yeah.
but
You're
it's fine.
gonna have to.
Okay.
Or I'll turn it off. No, we'll leave it like that. Okay. So now we should be good. Ish. Relatively. We'll see what happens, but now we can hear ourselves in case any more audio issue comes up.
Yeah, should be workable. So
where were we?
shall we pick up? Last thing to mention for the Q&A is that the crew battle mode is slotted. He said December they're shooting for. And what surprised me is that it's going to be primarily an online game mode. I wasn't really expecting that. I thought it was going to be a thing for like tournaments or like local, but it is going to be a game mode where you can take your friends and all queue together against a group of another people on for like a leaderboard.
That's super
so that's
exciting.
really cool. Yeah, it's very, very, very exciting. As well as more esports news coming soon regarding the Rivals Championship Series. So
All right. Very cool. The next thing, now again, we were about like a month behind. But if I do this, it doesn't seem to be looping endlessly. But I can't turn the monitor on. We
Do
can
you need
see
the
you.
monitor on?
No. But I think we're good. I think everything's good and fine, and we're gonna be good and fine forever. I had to switch over to Discord. Um, shouldn't be too much of an
Alright.
issue. Um,
Yeah, just a little different. Having to be a
a
little
little different,
flexible. Garrett,
and it might go out every
you're the
once in a
best.
while. For
We'll
some
see.
reason, it doesn't like showing us all the time. Um, but we got to talk about some patch notes, baby.
Oh
Time to
yeah.
talk about some patch notes. We had
Oh yeah.
two patches, both of which were kind of minor. I see now the issue is whenever I tab out. Um, we had 1.04 came. It was the mid-December patch. This came with some small changes. They buffed Rano for some reason,
Yeah.
as well as
Nice.
walked back some changes on Maple and, or sorry, not Maple, Fleet and Orcane, and some quality of life changes for fours. And then the much bigger patch was the most recent one, patch 1.05, featuring a slew of changes, most of which just had to do with the like knockback scaling, essentially curing Marthritis throughout the cast.
Yeah.
Um, I thought honestly that it was just like a skill issue that I couldn't find kills, but now the game's saying it wasn't my fault. But so that's pretty cool.
Well, it's a little column A, little column B. Have you
Okay,
noticed the Marthritis
I
like
I
changes? Because I have.
I have certainly, yeah. I've
As
gotten like
as the Marth player, I
it's
have.
true. I've
Yeah.
gotten Forsburn up air kills, which never happened before.
Yeah, yeah.
Some other dare
Oh my
kills
god.
that when
You know,
I purpled you
dude,
center
I
stage on Rockwall with Forsburn down air.
I wish we had that to show. That it was so cute.
Yeah.
That's so freaking hilarious. Um, yeah, Marthritis seems really good. It's only on like select moves, which I enjoy. A lot of the medium strength moves, a lot of tilts, a lot of aerials that aren't like
Yes.
kill aerials, but should have knockback eventually. So
Yeah. I think it was very good changes overall. It should just make things feel better at that like upper mid percent. You'll more reliably get kills while still being able to combo before that, which is
mhm.
nice. But we did get some other changes in this patch. It wasn't just the Marthritis vaccine. Fleet got some pretty significant buffs. I know you can't see them right now, and I'm not sure how well you remember them, but like
I have a
uh,
stream on my phone.
perfect. Then Nair and Fair got some decent buffs, and I think also um, the changes to like the moves across the board helped Fleet quite a bit, especially since her up air kind of got killed.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I tend to agree. I feel like there's not a whole lot to touch on. Like Fleet needed those buffs.
Yep. I mean,
She was struggling very much.
we've seen people like Bbats, who was very much a Fleet doomer post patch 1.03 back in December. Now
Yeah.
saying that she's playable, that she's like viable, but still maybe could use some more buffs. We'll have to wait and see about that. Claren got some changes as well to her up special,
Yeah.
making it combo into itself a little more reliably.
Yeah, these
Um,
changes actually suck. I'm gonna be real.
yeah,
In terms of like for me, it makes it a lot easier for people to parry um
yeah,
my recovery, the Clarence recovery. There was during the last patch between the December big patch and like a few days ago, it had this really huge blind had this really big blind spot at the top that made it so that the visualization was still there. So it would like tickle you, but there would be no actual hitbox. It made it really easy for me to sweet
right.
spot like the ledge. And it made it really annoying for people who would try to parry it and nothing would happen. I'd be like, guys, I'm just the goat. I'm just sweet spotting. But now I sweet spot and they parry, and I'm like frolicking for my life. It's ridiculous. Claren has the worst recovery in the game. Sorry,
Oh,
it's just
I
true.
believe it.
It's just literally true. They didn't. They also made a universal change right to that also didn't help her. I mean, obviously the air dodge change was a while ago. What was the universal ledge change they made?
They made
Like,
all
or
of
like what?
the ledge grab hitboxes. I actually have it right here.
They made them
They
smaller,
made them
right?
all smaller, specifically vertically. So we have a
Yeah,
before and after for everyone. Um,
yeah.
and
I've noticed
the
that.
faded away one is the before. Now it's the after.
I haven't seen this graphic. Let me take a look.
Yeah, from Trevor, the lead programmer at Ether Studios.
It's not crazy, but it
No,
doesn't help.
it's
Like,
nice.
yeah, recovery's not great. Yeah. So that's kind of the truth. That's kind of the truth of the matter. They made Claren's jab auto floor huggable,
Yep.
which
Oh, oh,
I have
patches.
seen a lot.
Yep. In
Um,
line with the rest of all the jabs.
it
They did the
makes a lot
same
of sense.
change to locks as well. His wasn't
Yeah.
before.
Now it's every jab one. Um, I think Claren's jab is a contentious. It's kind of a litmus test for me.
Hmm.
If you think it's ridiculously broken, I probably think you're bad. Um, because you can SSDI and DI it down and away, and then there's like no follow up ever. So it's not even that, but it's a very generous, safe poke, and I'll be like advancing with it with baby
Hmm.
dashes when people are like, "What do I do?" And it's like, dude, this move does 2%. Like, it's fine. I was watching some LMBM VODs today. I saw a Crag. I saw it was Cheesy Potato Void, and Cheesy Potato hit like a ridiculous quintuple chain grab on Void for like 30%. And I was like, wow, think about how infuriating it would be to get grabbed 5 times in a row. And then it's like, it's 30%. Like, relax. Like, we're fine.
That's true. I mean, I
So,
don't think it's necessarily good from a like how it feels perspective, but from a percent perspective, then yeah, it's all right.
yeah, you're just gonna be like, we're okay. What else
Um,
changed? Tell me.
what else changed? Well, we had some locks changes. I honestly didn't read through these because I didn't really care about locks. Um,
I'm
but it
pretty sure
seems
I
like it
did.
was
I'm pretty sure.
mostly just the universal changes. They would hit quite a few of his moves. Um,
Yeah,
streets are saying Loxodon's actually good.
he's strange because he has an axe, but he likes to scrap with you. So at least that's my experience and what I've heard people talking about is like it's almost paradoxical because he has a massive disjoint, he's a heavy, and his frame data isn't that good, and yet he wants to be in your face pushing like nair and waiting for you to trade. Because think
Oops.
about I don't know, I feel like I have a very unique matchup, Claren Locks, because Claren is the only other character with a disjoint really. Um,
Oh, I see. Sorry, I just
oh,
realized how this works.
okay.
We're working through it, guys. We're working through it. Please
Um,
continue.
yeah, but Locks like really likes to trade with you. It kind of sucks for him because he's floaty and usually fast followers like to trade, but
Hmm.
he still it's just feels like a mash fest sometimes against Loxodon. And then but in like
Interesting.
inevitably, eventually you're gonna get hit by a stray aerial and then you're gonna go
Yep.
off stage and then you're gonna die. So and if you make it back to the ledge, then you're awaiting 7 trillion charge strong attacks.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Lux is good. I will say at LMBM, I went through the entire VOD. There were 2 lock stream sets streamed. They were
Hmm.
winners round 1 and winners round 2. So I don't know.
Yeah, we
He's
didn't
probably
really
still bad.
see. I feel like a lot of tournaments we do see at least like 2 or 3 locks reps, but maybe there's not many East Coast top level loxes or Northeast anyways.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Solar Beam was there, and that was kind of it. But
Hmm. Cool, cool, cool.
we'll talk about LMBM
We'll
later.
talk about it in a second while I continue to fiddle with this.
Yeah,
Um,
go for it.
because now we're on to the character that I was nearly brought to tears to see some buffs for Orcane.
Yeah.
Specifically, the down special stall returning now makes his recovery a lot more, uh, just a lot more like viable. There were on longer stages like Fire Capital or Hyperborean. Um, it was very difficult to recover if you didn't have, or if you were to use your jump. It's still difficult, but now being able to stall and be reversed down special and then fair away gives them a lot more options off stage. And I really like this change because it still So you can only stall once per airtime now. Before down special, you could do it as many times as you want, and then they got rid of it at all, and now it's back for just one. So you can't be stalling in the air, but you can use it at least to get back to stage, which is very nice. Very, very nice.
Yeah. It's
Um,
great. It's a resource, you know? It's the same as
yes.
any other resource. Like, you catch someone's jump, they only got 1 unless you're raster, and it's like, "Yay, no jump." So, like, if you catch someone down special, you're like, "Cool, no more down special. I can continue to whittle away the resources," you know? It's good.
Yep. The neutral special recovery, getting a bit of a buff is nice. What I don't understand is why they
I
increased
don't
the
know either.
size of the back air sweet spot.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that.
He didn't need it.
He didn't
I
need
I
it.
guess the problem they had was that it was like not comboing enough into like the getting the 2 hit or something.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I like when you get the first hit and it's like, "Ooh, I'm a little wiggly. I'm a little bit of sauce going on." But, like, I guess it could be annoying, but it's not even
Mhm.
like, you don't even get reversaled. If you're edge guarding someone with a back air and you back air them and you only get the first hit, like, they just kind of
That's
fall out, it can still be an edge guard.
yeah.
It's and that move, for how strong it is, I don't think deserves this buff. I mean, Orcane did Orcane struggle to kill? Like, not really. The strong
No,
attacks are really crazy.
I would say that he didn't.
So, I don't know,
Um I
but
think
that's buffs.
back air was fine, and I'm happy with that. We did see some Forsburn nerfs. A lot of people
Mm,
after LMBM saying Forsburn top 3, which I could definitely agree with. We got some nice nerfs to his sort of campy play style with the side B. It now has longer startup and more
thank God,
recovery, which
thank
is
God.
super nice. Stops people from just running away to one side of the stage and then side being unpunished.
Well,
I
it
would
doesn't
never do
stop
that
it. Doesn't stop it, but it makes it easier to,
to punish.
close the distance and
Sure.
really and get in there and mess it. But holy,
Yep.
holy, some of these force burns I was playing on ranked, no shame, just absolutely shameless people. If I think they're people, like, it was crazy. I was really happy to see all these force burn nerfs.
Yeah, the other one that I think was definitely warranted is the nerfs to down air, spike damage reduce, whatever. But really, it's this one right here. Being able
Mm,
to it's basically the furthest part down of the dagger that reaches no longer spikes. So you can't like essentially spike people in the from the wrong hit. Uh, thanks to Void confirming Dan's suspicions on Twitter, which I
yeah.
thought was very funny.
You have that tweet pulled up or no?
I do not have it. I could
Oh
probably
my
grab
god.
it real quick. Whoa. Why do we look like that?
You're fine. You're fine. You don't have to. It was just Void hit someone with a like forward hitbox spike, and Dan was like, "Hey, did you mean to do that?" Asking for a friend, and he was like, "No," and then it got removed. So
Yep.
it's pretty silly. Yeah, it's pretty silly. You don't have to. You don't gotta pull it up.
Ah,
We
this
love
guy,
it.
this damn guy tweets a lot.
Yeah, right.
Turns out,
This Dan guy. Ooh, I like him.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan
Yeah, I'm a
of
fan.
Mr. Dan. Okay, I gotta pull up some more links right now before we talk about our next subject, or at least one more here. So we got
Mhm.
2 events that we missed talking about because we were gonna do this episode before Let's Make Big Moves, but then we both got sick, so we had to push it back. We have Platfight and Coinbox 120 to talk about. Um, so
Mm.
first, let's talk about Platfight first. Let's get the elephant out of the room, so to speak. Cake Assault won. Cake Assault won. He
Yeah,
3-0'd. I think he lost like 2 games. The event, good for him. Whatever.
yeah,
Um, what honestly was most impressive to me was that Stango 3-0ing Soul Rifle and just looking really good throughout the whole tournament. And then playing against Cake Assault and just getting rolled. It was disgusting.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
I'll admit, like, even with those details, I don't really largely remember this event. All of the cake wins are kind of blending together.
that's valid.
Um,
That's very valid.
so it's like, but I remember Platfight was stacked. It was essentially like Rivals 2 was the main game, is how it
Yes,
felt.
it was the highest
Um,
entrance of the whole tournament.
yeah, and if you look at, like, the talent was outrageous,
There was
so
a lot of good stuff. Cake, Stango, Soul Rifle, Cody Schwab. We'll talk about him in a little bit.
yeah.
Um, yeah, we got
Yeah,
Luck
oh,
there
this was the
too.
Ant tournament. Yeah, I
Yes,
remember this, yeah.
Ant did pretty well at this one as well. Um, yeah, Cake Assault won. We can move on from Cake Assault. Stango also looked good until he played Cake Assault. Ended up just desperately after losing to him 3-0 in upper finals and grands, switched from fours to Crag to Claren. It did not look great.
Yeah,
Um,
throwing stuff at the wall. I do remember that grand finals, it was, like, 9. I do remember this, yeah.
yeah, it was not great. Um, but we're gonna be jumping around a little bit between Coinbox and Platfight because there was a lot of like crossover, a lot of storylines sort of developing. Namely, of course, Switch, who got 7th at uh Platfight, ended up winning the Coinbox. This is his game against ZB at Platfight, which had a bit of an unceremonious ending to Game 5. This was to qualify to top 8. ZB's results we'll get into a little bit later too, but not quite, I think, where people expect, especially after that second in uh what was it, LACS. So that was the first death. And then second was whatever. And if I skip ahead a little bit, we can see what happens to his third and final stock of this tournament. Um, yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty these 2 with the sets. These 2
These two,
with the
yeah, we'll
sets.
talk.
They
I
play
guess
quite a bit.
might as well mention in the Coinbox 120 that Switch inevitably won. Switch lost to ZB 2-1 in winner side of tops like 64 or
Like
something.
32,
It was
62,
pretty
yeah.
early, and then he ended up coming back and winning way, way, way ahead. Let me pull up the top 8 bracket as
Yeah,
ZB falls off the
very
stage there.
unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
Yeah, it was in losers finals that Switch and beat him 3-1 to go to grands to win it all. So Switch having going from 7th to 1st was absolutely huge. He wasn't the only player though to have a similar um, results from tournament to tournament. We had Soul Rifle go from 3rd to 2nd in Platfight to the Coinbox.
Yeah.
Um,
Soul Rifle definitely I really thought this was gonna be the one he's gonna win. Like, he's yet to
yeah,
take really an event like this, but we can sort of feel that it's close. We don't know if Etalus is gonna be the catalyst to really push him over the edge, but the Coinbox was a very special tournament. Um, I remember, like, watching because Hungrybox had Soul Rifle and Switch's cams up, and they were both
yep.
shirtless, I think.
Soul
So
Rifle, actually, I pulled it up, has like a button up on, but Switch is
okay.
shirtless.
Right. I get confused because I tune into Soul Rifle's, like, ranked streams, and he's always
hmm
shirtless. So, maybe for the occasion, he wanted to be looking his best, but, yeah, this was crazy. Soul Rifle was in winner side grands, we thought this could be the one, like, this
it
could be the
was
one,
looking
just
like it.
playing hot, but Switch was playing so impressive, like, for the amount of time that he was playing straight, the amount of time the bracket took,
Yeah.
um, Switch even himself admitted, like, "Man, like, I'm playing hot. Damn, like,
Yeah.
crazy."
Uh,
Ended up running away with the
to talk
tournament.
about Switch's whole run here in the coin box, he lost to ZB, and then he beat. This isn't everyone he beat, but the most notable beat Salt, Zeus the Goose, Cody, Grompy, ZB, then Soul Rifle twice. It was by no means an easy bracket, especially this grand finals. I thought Soul Rifle was going to take it. I think we missed it just a little bit here on the stream itself, but Soul Rifle missed a wave dash to that would have been a kill confirm in this game 5. It was intense. Soul
Yeah.
Rifle now off the Loxodont onto the Forsburn, getting some decent results. But probably I by the next tournament we see him, he's going to be on Etalus, which will be very
You think?
interesting to see. I imagine so.
It's gonna be it's yeah, it's actually gonna be pretty tough 'cause, for Genesis, there'll be 3 weeks of Etalus beforehand,
Yep.
which I think is definitely enough time, especially if you have a lot of experience with the character. Oh, man. Oh, man, it's in Soul Rifle, that's a tournament he's won before, you know? He's taken those Genesises over Cake
And of
Assault
course,
and the like.
the true highlight of Soul Rifle's run was his pop off to Cody.
This was crazy.
I This was so funny. It was just a 3-0, but these
Yeah.
two ended up facing quite a bit. In the coin box as well. Just a bit later, we see Cody Schwab. But let's not talk about them specifically. Let's talk about Cody Schwab, who got fifth at both Platfight and the coin box. I don't know if it's just the Zeta resurgence or he's just. I mean, he's obviously very good at video games.
Yeah.
Cody is looking pretty good.
Cody's nice. Cody's nice. In fact, I'm just gonna real quick. I'm gonna look melee because Platfight was a very good tournament for
Oh
Cody,
yeah,
right? So
he.
got fifth at Platfight, right? Won melee singles over
Yep.
like Jmook, Wizrobe, Hungry Box, whatever. Won Rivals
Melee.
2 doubles with Cake Assault
Yep.
and Rivals 2 doubles with I forget who, but
Yeah.
With Jmook. But so
Right.
yeah, Cody Schwab, this was kind of a big tournament for him. I think it really set the pace for or like the expectation that he can
Hmm.
hold himself to in terms of balancing multiple games at the same time. I think he had an exceptional Rivals 2 tournament. Um, I don't. He's proven he's one of the players that can really pick it up and go the distance with it. Like this guy's playing Rivals
Yes.
2 and he can take names.
He's talked about how he's planning on competing in both these games. Some like other players who we'll talk about later, playing in multiple titles, not necessarily committed to both. But what really has impressed me about Cody is that he's doing a lot of stuff like other Zetters aren't doing. Um, and it's working really well. I think others should probably copy him. He's abusing Shine off stage, like Shines from ledge to edgeguard, where a lot of Zetters seem to just be like opting to give up ledge or try and like land some
Mm,
dares to punish it like a recovery, but Cody's going out for it. Obviously, the upstrong shenanigans, which did get a slight nerf. We didn't mention that earlier, but now has more recovery and start and fewer active frames.
yeah,
Cody
just
Schwab,
more committal. Cody
look,
Schwab,
so
the
excited to see what he
Zetters,
does next year.
they need to get
This
on
year.
this. The Zetterburns need to get on the Shine edge guard. There's a lot of situations where I feel like it is legit optimal. I think being able to jump cancel it and charge it is really the huge thing. So
Hmm.
you can go off, you can place it, and then you can jump away as soon as the hitbox is out. That's a huge advantage that other aerials don't have, right? You have to either go low and rise with them, and then you lose altitude, or you have to go out with them, do them and suffer the entire landing lag before you can jump back. So Shine being able to jump cancel it, I think is a huge advantage that's underlooked, and Zetterburns need to get on. Even though it's not like it doesn't just delete you like Melee Fox Shine, but like Cody has displayed, there clearly is some merit to edge
Yeah,
guarding some
the
characters
shine spikes
with
off
Shine.
stage is very difficult to deal with as somebody recovering. He also
Yeah.
in the coin box only lost to Switch and Soul Rifle, the top two finishers, and got uh, double elim by Soul Rifle at Platfight. So he had it's some tough losses. Ended up
That's
beating
unlucky.
Luck, Nog, and LP um, at Platfight. Beat out Mr. R during the coin box. He wasn't the only person though to get uh, to only lose to Switch and Soul Rifle in the coin box. He got a bit mogged by Grompy, who got fourth,
Yeah,
proving that he's not just a one hit wonder.
yeah.
He showed up once again, still on the Zetter, of course. HBox using the Chad icon instead of a player cam. When a game 5 against Switch is very intense, but I'm happy to see Grumpy. It wasn't just a fluke. It wasn't just a really good run when he beat Cake, Mango, almost beat
Yeah.
Void. That he's here to stay, here to play.
For sure. I think for Grumpy as a player, it's really easy to see the trajectory he's been on. I admittedly I don't know if he's going to Genesis. I really, really hope he is. Yeah, Genesis doesn't have its like attendees published, so we can only speculate at this point in time. But Grumpy made a name for himself in a day. Very impressive
Yup.
with a losers run of a lifetime. Has a cake assault win. Not many people have a cake assault win. It's a very select club.
It's a mango
Uh,
win.
and yeah, has a mango win. So yeah, he's very good. I'm happy to see him here. Like I'm happy to see Grumpy here.
hmm
It's a lot of Zetter burn.
I was just gonna
Like we
ask
talked about
how
the
much do you
Zetter
think
burn.
is just Zetter being strong right now have to do with it? Because
Zetter
there's a lot
burn.
of Zetters at the top eights of every single tournament recently.
Right. So I was thinking about this for the Coinbox specifically, which is where Grumpy's really shown up. I don't know what
Yup.
offline events he's been to. I don't think many, if
Nothing off the
any.
top of my head.
But it allows for a Zetter player to get in the zone. They get to play on their own time in their bedroom, doing whatever they want. You can eat dude, I got carrots and hummus right here. I haven't eaten any because we're doing a show right now, so I
Mhm.
can't eat any. If I was playing Zetterburn, I'm dipping between stocks and I'm just munch, munch, munch. You know what I mean? So I thought about this a lot. Like Switch was like, I can't believe when Switch won the Coinbox, it's like I can't believe I played that hot for that long. It's very impressive. I
Yeah.
can't help but wonder if being in your bedroom is like a big factor in that. So
Yeah.
Zetterburn for a character that gets rewarded for pressing. This is going to sound stupid, but for a character that gets rewarded as heavily for pushing buttons correctly, like that comfortability is so valuable. As well as I think Zetterburn is a character that's better on Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Um,
Harder to react. Like
for
you like
for a lot of reasons.
with
Yeah,
such a high APM, not being able to react within the like limited number of frames. Even if you're
yeah,
on like decent servers, there's gonna be delay, and that matters when you're up against the top levels that are burned. They press so many buttons. You have a very limited window to react. But it could be
yeah.
why we see the Zetters doing so well
There's
online.
so many.
But
They're
real
doing
quick to
so
to
well.
shout out Grumpy. We had two EU reps at this tournament, Mr. R and Spider, playing on the same setup, which was very funny.
I didn't know that. I
Yeah,
didn't
they
know
were
they're
on
on
the
the same
same
set.
setup. They almost match into each other too. Um,
That would have been.
so they would have had to like Discord stream to HBox a local game.
Yeah.
But Spider got 5th, Mr. R got 7th. Both got eliminated by Grumpy. So protecting our country.
Casualties, casualties to the Gromp stop. No, yeah, Mr. R. He's actually moved to Mexico for the
Yep.
year.
He just got an
Um,
apartment, I believe.
Tweet. Yeah,
Like as
yeah.
of
So
today.
I don't know exactly the reason. I'd like to live in a fantasy world where it's so that he can play Rivals 2 more. But uh, it's great. It's great to have a good raster player just around. It's always great and not like banished to the other side of the world.
Yeah.
Um,
And
super good. Spider also good.
also great to have another Zetter. We need more of them. Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, yeah,
And real
yeah.
quick before we take do you have something to say?
Did you see the Dan tweet where he responded to someone complaining about Zed or Nair? Um,
Uh, I think so. It
where
was like
someone was like,
you don't want that,
yeah,
basically,
he was
right?
like, Dan, please make all the Nair hits connect to each other. Please make the move work. And Dan
No.
responded straight up being like, you don't want the Nair hits to work. We don't
Nair
want to
hits.
live in a world where Zed or Nair
Also,
works.
well, maybe mention this a little later, but Stango with Nair is getting creative, getting a lot of good use out of it.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that in a minute. I want to shout out 2 more players from Platfight and Coinbox real quick. Ant, who we mentioned earlier, showed up big at Platfight with some very good wins. Over he beat out Switch and Mystery Soul. I think there's someone else good he beat. Lost to Cake, I believe. Beaten hard. No,
Yeah.
those were the big two. So looked very good on the Rano.
Looked very, 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 very good. One of the benefactors from the Fleet nerfs, because Ant used to play Fleet earlier back in the betas and like the first month of the game, but I think in the midst of the gutting of the character they did, switched over to Rano and had the best tournament performance he's had. So
Mhm. Yeah,
it was
and
super
I
good.
think Ant switched even before the nerfs actually came in. Got a little ahead of it. So
Okay,
good for
good for him.
him. And the last player to shout out is Wiley, formerly known as Y. He was a top 10 Rivals 1 player with the Rano. Um, got ninth at Genesis X for Rivals 1. Hadn't made a significant top 8 yet, but then got top 8 at the Coinbox. So good stuff
Yeah.
from him. Excited to see what he
It
can do
was
this
so
game.
funny. It was so funny seeing
Oh
because
my god. Yeah,
Wiley's like good, but was also seated like
because he
365th or
changed his tag.
something like that. Because he changed his tag, like no one was really sure where to put him. So
Very funny.
it was a little silly to see the 365th seed in top 8.
Cool.
Cool.
So that's gonna do
Cool, cool,
it.
cool.
We're gonna go to a quick break before we talk about Let's Make Big or Luminosity makes big moves. So we'll be right back in like 5 minutes, and enjoy
Yeah,
this video I made.
you made a video?
We're so back. We're so back is
Welcome
the
back.
thing.
Welcome back, friends. Welcome back, viewers, treasured viewers. It's time to talk about the big news on the block. Let's make big moves. Luminosity makes big moves. 2025 just happened. It's a staple event of the at least Smash community. If you've been around, always an incredible way to start off the year. It's pretty local to us. I was getting extreme FOMO. I don't know if you were, but I certainly was, especially watching alt and whatnot. Um, Absolutely sick event. Love the team at Luminosity. Love Max Ketchum. Super good. And this was a tournament of storylines. There was a lot going on at Luminosity, at LMBM. There was a lot going on.
There's a lot of things happening. A lot of Zeta burns too.
A
But
lot of
I mean,
burns too.
let's not beat around the bush here, Matt. let's get
Yeah.
this elephant out of the room or whatever I said
That's
earlier.
you want to talk about storylines.
Let's
People
talk
love a
about
good
it.
storyline. People love it like
I got the bracket pulled up
oh,
here. We got to talk about Spargo. We just have to.
he's the elephant? I thought Cake was the elephant
Oh
from
no,
earlier.
Cake's like
Cake was the elephant.
Cake's the elephant that's always in the room.
He's like,
There's no getting rid of that elephant.
okay,
Like we've
yeah.
got all our best guys just shoving away, trying to push
We
him
got
out
our
of the
best
room.
guys VOD reviewing the elephant. They're like, yeah, this elephant's so good at DI. It's crazy. It's
This
but,
elephant,
like,
he was playing Fleet, but now he's on Forsberg still beating us. We just need Grompy was the only one that could take the elephant out, but then he was too tired.
and only on Wi-Fi too. So it's crazy.
Cake Assault won again. But Spargo got him to game 5 and beat everybody else except Lucius.
Oh my god, what a fascinating tournament for so many reasons. We're gonna, first of all, we're gonna make a video on Spargo. I was working on it today. Garrett and I were reviewing a lot of footage, actually all the footage of Spargo playing the game. It is insane. This run is absolutely insane. I don't think we're gonna see something that's going to deliver this feeling for quite some time, at least for me, because I know Spargo. I know Spargo. You don't know Spargo? I've been watching Spargo play Ultimate for, upwards of 4 years now. I remember main stage 2021. He's in grand finals against Leo. He does an absolutely terrible double jump out of disadvantage and gets gutted for it last hit. It was, and then in the post game interview, MK Leo, he's on the interview. They're like, "What do you think of Spargo?" And they're like, "He's going to be way better than me someday. Like, this guy's going to be way better than me someday. I won this time. I got lucky." And so, like, to see that fully realized with him taking number 1 on Lumi rank for Ultimate, and then also find this much success in Rivals 2 this early on into like him playing it is it's miraculous.
So I have a question. Was that like Miiverse post of him real?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that is
Miiverse
awesome.
him posting when he's like literally 12, like, I'm gonna be the best Smash players in the world. That's 100% real.
That's
it's
incredible.
Really crazy. Yeah, right? It's oh man.
I mean, let's focus on his Rivals 2 run here. His Claren seems so oppressive to play against. We saw the likes of Boyko, who ended up getting 3rd. Normally a very like patient player, making some like uncharacteristic wisp, but he's very much forcing people to play to his level. Even Cake Assault had a bit of an adjustment in his game plan. I think he definitely adapted quickly enough. Probably watching, comfortably from his winners finals victory, just watching all the Spargo sets.
Definitely downloading.
Yeah, and Cake Assault, he has the tag OS for a reason. He's the operating system.
Spargo. Oh man,
so impressive. His advantage state was unreal, especially considering how like little time he has in the game.
Yeah, he's Mr. Run Through You. Like the Boyko Spargo Claren Ditto losers finals is like maybe the best set that I as a person could have ever asked for. Losers finals I always think is better than grands. Boyko is my favorite Claren player, and Spargo is my favorite alt player, and they're Claren Ditto. Oh my god, it was unreal. And so like, you're right, Boyko tends to be Mr. Punish Game, Mr. You whiff on him and he kills you for it. But Spargo just absolutely ran through this guy. It was insane. It was one of the only sets for Spargo in top 8 that didn't go game 5. I think it was the only set that didn't go game 5.
Yeah, it was game 4
in top 8 for Spargo.
Everything else was 3-2.
Yeah, it's
Unreal
super
stuff.
crazy. Should we start with like? I don't know. I don't want to keep keep glazing, and we can talk about the bracket pad. Let's talk about how many Zetter burns there were, dude.
He played against we played against 3 Zetters. He played it at least in top 8. He played against Beastly, Stango, and Switch. Then also played against 2 Forzes in Void and Cake Assault. Obviously no slouches. Then played against a Rano, and then everything else didn't really. Lost to the Rano. But a lot of Zetter burn.
Yeah. It had me thinking a lot about the identity of the game. I was thinking about this a lot. It starts off in a weird spot. I'm gonna go on a tangent for like a
Please, by
minute.
all means, by all
Forgive me.
means.
It starts off with me realizing Orcane is the third heaviest character in the game.
Yeah.
How did we get here? He's not that big. Are there a lack of heavy characters? And I'm thinking, and on average, as the game goes on and more characters are released, the Rivals cast is going to get heavier. Okay, we've got Etalus coming in, Sylvanos, Eliana, Hodon. These are characters that are
Mhm.
heavier than average that are yet to be in the game yet. A lot of the lightest characters have been added already, like Fleet,
Raster,
Raster,
Maple,
Maple. Yeah. These characters, I can only really think of two other like light characters, like going to be Absa
Absa,
and
Olympia. Is
No,
she light?
Palm.
Palm,
No,
obviously, Palm.
Olympia's a midweight.
Yeah, that
Um,
makes more sense.
so I'm realizing like, that's really interesting. I wonder how that affects like how we view the game right now. And I think in terms of identity, like the game is a lot lighter right now. It's a lot it's very fast and it seems very homogenized to me, if this makes sense. In the beginning of the game, we had characters like Raster, Maple, Zetterburn that would win by just like blowing you up. Like they would touch you
Mhm.
and they would blow you up. And I think this is going to start to decline as more characters are added that are a little bit weirder. Like the only weird character we have in the game right now, I think, is Arcane. Every
Yeah,
other
I'd have to
character is
agree.
pretty straightforward. So once we get in some more characters like Eliana and Sylvanos,
Mhm.
like
And
the identity
however
of the
Hold On
game,
works.
yeah, and hold
I
on.
still don't know how
What
Hold On works.
the identity of the game, I think, is going to evolve into something a lot more creative and
I
abstract. That's something
think
I'm looking forward
that's something I've
to.
also thought about when playing this game and thinking about the old Rivals 1 cast, is that obviously Rivals is not a very honest game. Every
Mhm.
character is dishonest. That's part of the
Yeah,
appeal. But as far as the cast goes currently, it's like the most honest it will be
yeah,
ever.
ever,
We have
100%.
like in the betas, it was even more so before Arcane. Now we got Etalus, so the tides are very much starting to turn. But like I'll play some Rivals 1 and go against like a Shovel Knight or a Hodon, and I'm like, feels it's just weird. It's silly, which is great, and I like it. I
Yeah,
just don't totally know what's happening. So I think you're right that it is a bit more homogenized right now than it will be in the future. Will be
yeah,
in about 11 days.
mhm. Yeah, for sure. I think this ties into like it had me think about Spargo's bracket run, and the game is in a state right now where the fast fallers are incredibly good, right?
Yep.
Zetterburn, Forceburn, Claren, and Crag are all like very popular, very successful characters right now. Um, and it just has me thinking like ultimately this isn't worth like discussing or like debating, but like imagine a world where Spargo has to fight ZB's Malo
Oh
in,
god.
in instead of
Hmm.
beastly Zetterburn. You know what I mean? So it definitely had me thinking about that. I just thought it was like
I'd be
it's
willing
something to think about. It's
to
something really
bet
interesting to
too
think
that
about.
this was intentional by the devs, that they wanted to,
Oh, I
and
believe
also
so.
it probably just made balancing the game a lot easier when the
Hmm.
characters are relatively normal.
Yeah.
I think it makes a lot of sense, and that's a very interesting point you bring up. I'll definitely be thinking about that quite a bit
Yeah.
more.
So this is all to say that's I think Spargo's bracket success. It because the game is a lot more homogenized than it will be, and it still is pretty crazy. Like you have to fight
Of course.
it's Goku Simulator. You got to fight every character
Hmm.
as though they're going to kill you off a touch, and there's some really weird stuff. But by and large, compared to where we're heading, it's going to be a lot. Oh my god, I just remembered La Reina, and every move is a hit
Oh
grab.
yeah,
That's crazy.
right.
Dude, that's crazy. But regardless, I think that sort of homogeny lends itself well to people from all sorts of plat fighters like Spargo, who has tremendous platform fighting fundamentals, not even just from Ultimate, but from Smash 4 and also Melee. It's they're able to come in, really understand the engine, understand the movement, and sort of play the game from there. So
Yeah,
this is something I wanted to bring. So that was really interesting
I
to
think
think
it's definitely
about.
contributed to Smash players having more success early on. Of course, we still like some of the rivals players are still on top, and then PM is doing well, which I don't
Mhm.
know how much that has to do with that. I don't really know much about PM. But is there anything else you want to talk about with Spargo?
Um, he's the goat.
He's to go. You want to
He's
talk about the
really
Lucius
fucking good.
loss?
He's really it is insane to me that his losses at this tournament were Lucius and Kakasol. That's so
That's
crazy.
crazy.
Like, because Lucius beat Spargo
Hmm.
and then lost to Boyko and Mars. And like
Yeah,
I watched back the Mars Lucius set.
I did
I,
too.
I don't know how, like,
To to
I've
me,
I've
go
never
ahead. Go
seen
ahead.
Lucius play worse personally.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of Lucius gameplay. He was one of the runners I studied in the beta. He's someone I've taken a good look at. He's someone who's been at the top. I've never seen him give up so many edge guards, like lose so many stocks just like for free. It was
I
crazy.
watched the Boyko Lucius set and then the Lucius Mars set, and it looked like two different players.
Mm,
And I'm surprised that Lucius he has like a similarly defensive play style to Boyko,
mhm.
and I would think based on how Boyko Spargo went that Spargo and also how Mars Lucius went that Boyko would have maybe lost to Spargo in the end, but he didn't. And then Mars, he had a very similar aggressive kind of play style, and it was too much for Lucius, I guess. Uncharacteristic from him, and I really wish we could have watched the Lucius Spargo game.
Yeah, 100%. Oh man, I wish
Mhm.
if only. But I think it brings up like a good train of thought about, you're right, Lucius is a more patient, more defensive player that's looking to punish you for your mistakes rather
Yes.
than assert his own game plan necessarily. And I think that it is completely expected in that vein that he would have his results sort of fade on a downward trend. Still an incredible player, got ninth,
Hmm.
with the likes of like Void, who's super good. Um, but I think Rivals 2 is an advantage state machine. You need to be willing
Yep.
to go in, put your skin on the line, and kill your opponent. So, specifically when I'm seeing the Ditto against Mars, like I'm seeing Mars. Who did Mars play? Mars played Switch, I think, in winners. I watched that set, and he just got.
The
It looked like Mars had
ZB.
no idea what he was doing because Switch was just running over him, not giving him a chance to do anything, edge guarding him really well. It was just like,
Version of the set.
it definitely showed like what needed to happen. And so when Mars played against someone like Lucius, I don't know what was exactly going on, but Mars got so much space for free. He got so many hits
Yep.
for free. He got so many edge guards for free. He was just Lucius was just giving up
And I
way
think
too much,
he was
like getting
also
way
just
too lazy.
converting those hits into much more percent and often some kills and edge guards way
Yeah,
more than Lucius was.
yeah,
Definitely
yeah.
uncharacteristic. But speaking of this more passive style, let's talk about Boyko now.
Okay,
Because the
I'm down.
Boyko Stango set was not the only set he played. He got sort of overwhelmed, still looked, relatively competitive. But what really looked like to me was just the main differences to me was Boyko against a lot of his other opponents. He doesn't necessarily get the most out of his uh, neutral wins, but he wins neutral a lot. He looked insanely good. Like I got right now here the double zero to death against Stango, his like practice partner, one of his best friends in his bachelor party. Um, but even in this, he like loses neutral, or not even loses, but like resets to neutral like multiple times across this double zero to death. But it wins. His movement and his precision is so good. I think that's why like Claren is so good for him, because he's always in position to hit the tippers, to use whatever hitbox he desires from whatever move to get a punish, get a good combo in. But
Yeah,
it didn't quite pan out against Spargo.
yeah. I think that comes down to it's strange. And ultimately, there's no way to like really math it out on paper because fighting games are so much more complex than that. That's why we love them.
Mhm.
Is like, you'd expect, if Spargo lost game 5 to Lucius, but beat Boyko in 4, and we said like they have a very similar play style. Like I don't know how that really lands. It's crazy.
It's so interesting.
I can't believe Spargo beat Boyko. Like, I'm very excited to show this in the Spargo video. Is our DMs over the
Oh
course
my
of the
god,
top
yeah.
8. Like Spargo beats Beastly, and I'm like, 5th place secured for my goat. Like Spargo, he's here to stay. And then he beat Stango, and we were like, damn, that's a crazy win. That is an insane
Mhm.
win. And I was like, but Stango plays more calculated, not necessarily as aggressive as the other setters. Switch should destroy Spargo.
Yep.
And then that didn't happen, and Spargo beat him. And I was like, damn. But Boyko, the Clarin Goat and the Ditto should run him over.
Yep. It
Nope.
didn't
No,
happen.
no, no.
It was
So yeah.
it's very interesting. I would love to dive deeper, and I know you will in the video about
Yeah.
why Boyko ended up losing that. But I think it kind of stands in contrast to his loss to Cake Assault in winners finals,
Mhm.
where Boyko wasn't like getting Cake doesn't play like he hates you like Spargo does. Cake plays like he knows exactly what you're gonna do. It was kind of a case of Boyko getting beat at his own game. He was just it was a wash, a 3-0. It was Cake. He said at the end it was the match he was most afraid of was Boyko, but it was a 3-0. It was disgusting. He was just getting more out of every neutral and winning neutral more, and Boyko just not putting up, I guess, the performance we would have necessarily hoped for. Top 3 is nothing to scoff at by any means, but the last time he entered, he won in wavelength. It's been a little bit since he played. Hopefully, we get to see him more though, because I would love to get to watch him more consistently, see how his play style adjusted to the different opponents.
I super hope he goes to Genesis. I'm prepared for him not to, but
Yeah.
you're right. Like this Boyko Kagasol rivalry that we've seen develop over the course of the game. This was the first time Boyko played Cake's Force Burn in
Yes.
its like Super Saiyan state. Like back at Wavelength. Dude, was Force Burn even
First
in
burn
the
was not out.
game?
Cake was secondary in
Really?
Zetter, and I don't think he even went Zetter against Boyko.
No, he did. He
Or
did. I
maybe he did in the
remember he
first
went.
set.
Yeah. He definitely. I know Boyko beat both the Zetter and
Right, right,
the
right.
complete. So this was really then even though it's been such a big amount of time, this was really just like the next step from what happened all those months ago. Is the first time that Boyko played against Kagasald's Force Burn, and I think Force Burn beats Clarin
Yeah,
for what it's worth.
I think so.
You think so? It's I'll have to really watch back this set. A lot of my top 8 VOD review was focused on Spargo,
Mhm.
so I don't really have this exactly clean in my head, but yeah, Boyko, he's really good.
He's
I
very
like
good.
watching him,
I
man. I
wanna
like
watch I want him
watching
to
him.
play more.
So simple too. So simple. Love it.
Yep.
Absolutely love it. Cool. Let's let's move on a little bit.
Let's move on a little bit. We got Switch and ZB matched up once again
Oh,
at this
yeah.
tournament. Um, it seems like I don't know if the new patch Zetter is just like too much for ZB to handle in with Crag. But ZB ended up getting 8th, or sorry, 7th, or no, he got 5th. ZB got 5th. He beat out Mars in top 8,
Yeah.
but then lost to Switch. But it's not been the highest results from ZB recently, and he's even had his complaints. Though he's also just been playing another game, which he's attributing to some of his
Really?
losses. Yeah,
What's he
apparently.
playing?
I don't know what it's. He said he's saying leagues. I don't know what that is. Truthfully, he talked about it before. Not league,
Leagues?
leagues, something.
Is it
Maybe it's
Lethal
like a
League?
MOBA or
That's
something.
a
No, I
prop
don't think
fighter.
so.
I don't know.
Anyway,
Okay.
but then he said, "Take it all back. It's bear time, baby." Post Etalus launch, so the ZB Etalus might be something we see in the future, and that would make me so happy if I get to
Yeah.
watch the silliest man in Rivals on Etalus to just see what he can innovate and do with that character. That would be so good. But it's
Mhm.
been interesting to see his recent results.
Yeah, he's a super interesting player to follow. One that I he's a very interesting player
Hmm.
because I think he's like very victim to the sort of ebb and flow of patch culture that's going on. Like, you know, we see it needs to be said that as Crag gets nerfed, his results are getting worse.
Yep.
And it's because he's getting run over by the absolute god being of Zetterberg. Like, it's really crazy. ZB, such an interesting player, someone who like needs his flowers because he's the reason that Crag got nerfed, like almost solely.
Yeah.
Like legit. So he's this character that is doing extreme things out of grab out of the cube with the down B off stage. So much so that when I was VOD reviewing Riptide, I saw ZB playing someone in top 8 and I decided to skip that set.
Yeah.
I was very angry at what he was
There's
doing.
a reason I decided he was the first like combo video I made. It's because that this guy he was just doing crazy shit every single game.
Yeah. So and so he hits people with this, and then he gets run over by a rushdown character as a
Yeah.
heavy fast faller, and he's rage quitting. And it
Did.
makes it's so interesting. It's so interesting. It really the only place to look ahead to the only place to look to is ahead because Etalus is coming out. I think Etalus is gonna be a way fucking better character than Crag, like better
Yeah.
bracket character.
I think better
And
matchup into
so
Zetter too.
for sure. And so I think that's where we're going to see things really develop. I think ZB had this huge surge all the way like pre-release and into release as Crag is like this busted Goliath character. And now that the recovery is a lot more exploitable and the conversions are a lot significantly toned down, we see the results falling off. Still up there with the best of them,
Oh
still
yeah.
someone that's going to beat your favorite player, but not really contending for the top.
I mean, I
The
guess
tipping
we're
top.
saying this. He did get 5th, 3rd, and 9th. So it's not that
Yeah.
bad. Um,
It's not that bad,
but
but
has
it
gotten
makes sense.
eliminated by Switch every single time. But again, like ZB is someone you'd expect to be contending for titles, especially the online brackets that Cake Assault either doesn't do as well in or doesn't play.
Yeah,
This
just
is a downgrade.
getting run over by the Zetterburns, run over by
Run over by
Force
Switch in
Burns.
particular.
It's tough. It's tough. So that first, oh man, but yo, TOs, please rig. Please rig. I need to see Switch ZB at Genesis. I need to see
Oh
the
my god.
Etalus versus the Zetterburn
That would be
because
so
this.
good.
Oh, I need to see it. I need to see it. Oh man, I just really hope it's gonna get crazy. It's gonna get really crazy. ZB's a very interesting player to watch. If you want to know the state of the meta, check out ZB's placements. If it's between 4th and 13th, the meta's in a great spot. If he's winning events, something needs to change. So so like just hold on
Yeah.
tight. Keep an eye on him. Very entertaining player to watch. So wish nothing but the best going forward with Etalus. I hope to play ZB's Etalus in bracket one day.
Oh,
That's all I can say. Maybe at Genesis. Maybe I need to like, pull some
you get
strings.
matched. You go in the pool. You're in ZB's pool.
Oh my god, that would be so
I
funny.
would love that.
That would be so funny, but it would make a great video. Regardless, so yeah, ZB.
How I
using the Switch
accidentally
a lot.
lost to ZB.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Moving forward. So we see ZB in that state. We already kind of touched on Mars. I don't think there's really much to say about him. He seems to be a
Other
player
than
that what's up? What
he
do you want to
just
say?
the improvement is so huge. I remember watching him at LACS and kind of disregarding him. I didn't think he was like
Yeah.
actually that much of a Rivals player, but no, he looked pretty good. That's all I really got to say on the matter.
Yeah,
Good job.
pretty good.
Is that your big justice?
No, Mars is another player that I've known of for a long time. I've played sets against Mars. He's a New England local, and so watching his gameplay, seeing him, he won Genesis for all. Like this is a top caliber Platfight player. Seeing him in Rivals, sort of, I don't want to say like struggle to find his footing. He's very non-threatening. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't think that's controversial to say because his sets against like Switch and ZB were incredibly short, incredibly dominant for the victors that weren't Mars. And like his win against Lucius to get into top 8, we talked like, not that it was a fluke by any stretch of the margin. Like that's part of fighting games. You need to capitalize on your opponent's mistakes and then you win the game.
100%.
But Lucius was undoubtedly playing with a lot of mistakes. So it puts me in this weird spot for Mars where I'm like, I've seen him at the top of the world. I've seen the way he's able to play platform fighters, and his Rano is not exactly inspiring that in me just yet. So I don't,
Who,
and I don't know.
who
I
does
don't, I don't
Mars
know how
play in
else to.
alt? Or who has he played?
Zero Suit Samus.
Okay. I guess I
That
guess I
probably
guess
doesn't
I
tell
see
you very much.
the relation. I don't know anything about fucking alt.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want to talk about Void though.
yeah, man. Yeah,
Let's talk
man.
about
Void.
Void. Void's
Void looks super good.
Void's really good, and then that Spargo set was crazy. But yeah,
He got caught. He got caught in the fucking crossfire, man. Like, sorry, some people got to die for Spargo to make it to the top,
yep,
and he had to be
I'm
one of
okay
those
with that.
players.
If him being the
Mhm.
sacrifice, I would love to talk about his set against Cheesy Potato
Sure.
because that was inspiring. You linked this clip, but
Yeah.
he is been innovating on the Forsburn. He's not been like a lot of other people coming from Smash. He's been very much like looking to push the meta forward with Forsburn, which is like crazy because you got like Cake Assaults up there. But he's oh froze. Cake Assault's up there. But of course, Void coming from not Rivals 1 has a lot of a fresher set of eyes, so to speak. And he was doing some crazy shit in this game in particular against Cheesy. It was very impressive.
Yeah, it was very impressive. Void is always a player to watch if you're Forsburn looking to not even get better at the game, but just marvel in awe. Like look at
Mm-hmm.
Void's nairs because they're really crazy. And I say that
Yes.
it won't get you better because it's really hard to do. You probably won't pick up on the way he uses nair like from just watching. That comes from dedicated time practicing in the lab, which was something Void loves to do. He's a lab monster in every single game. He's a player that comes into a new game and instead of asking like, what should I be doing as this character, is able to be like, what can I do? How far can I push this? How can I take this game and mold it like clay? And it's something that has, earned him the title of greatest gamer in the world multiple times over.
Twice, yeah.
It's something that means he's very successful. It's actually really funny because his loss to Spargo was hilarious to me because one of Spargo's worst losses in the past 2 years was to Void in Ultimate, getting
Wow.
13th out of 16 at like an invitational, and it was in an absolutely legendary set. So to see the two like still competing, game 5 last hit with everything on the line it's very sweet to watch. It's very inspiring.
I think Forsburn is such a fantastic character for Void because he has
100%.
so much room for creativity. He's been already like innovating with some nice clone setups, not even like the one that you showed with the up B, but just how he's using it in neutral and in his punish state is has been very fun to watch as a someone learning Forsburn.
100%. He knows what he's doing.
And
This
he
guy
also
knows
this
what
clip
he's
as
doing.
well.
So consistent, so good with the recoveries. Rivaled only, of course, by the perfect player, Cake Assault.
Yeah,
So, whew.
pretty
Void. Oh man,
disgusting.
he's so good. He's so
Love.
good.
I've
He's so
been
good.
such a
And
fan
this
of
this is all to
Australia.
say. I think it needs to be said that like he got ninth. I 100% that the Spargo set could have gone either way. I expected Void if he beat Spargo to go on to reach maybe like those top 4 slots. Like he
Yeah,
was
I
still
think he could get
playing
top four,
really
top
good if you watch
five.
the VODs. Yeah. He was still playing insane. So
Certainly.
okay.
I
Is
think that
that
does it for
I
LMBM.
actually I
Oh,
think what was I gonna say about like you brought up Cheesy Potato. I don't know if we want to talk about Cheesy Potato that much, but like she was a top player in Rivals 1 and the gameplay, I mean, if you've seen her tweets, she's tweeting a lot about being demotivated for the game
mm-hmm.
because for one reason or another, it's just a straight up a different game. And I definitely
Yeah,
see that come through in the gameplay. It doesn't I don't see that fire. I don't see
yeah.
the
I
cheese.
think
You know what I mean?
she was like top 12 in RCS
Yeah,
season
she's a
8.
phenomenal
She's
Rivals 1 player.
very, very good,
And
but
it's still up
just
there. It's still up there, in these
still good,
top
but just not
32.
getting the
But
results coming from Rivals 1 you might expect from her.
yeah.
That's definitely something I've been
That's
noticing.
something yeah, that's something I noticed watching
Maybe she'll
the
pick up the
Void set
Etalus
today.
too.
Dude, maybe.
Maybe that'll be
Dude,
it.
if Cheesy picks up Etalus, I'll pick up Etalus. Play a bracket. I'll do a Monday Night Rivals of
Flip
Aether
it.
solo Etalus, and I'll go O2. It'll be hilarious. I don't know.
All
We'll
right.
figure it out. So that's gonna wrap up LMBM.
Which
Uh,
means it's time
time to
for my gatherings.
time for
Garrey's
Garrey's
gatherings. I
gathering.
only have two I've gathered for everyone to enjoy, and both of them have to do with Maple. We
Ooh.
got
Oh,
this first quadruple fair from
that's so fun.
NBAD over here.
I love it so much. I love it so much.
Bop, bop,
This is this
bop.
this is the type of shit I would be consistently
Hilarious.
going for if I was a Maple player. In fact, I think if you check the quotes, I saw a sextuple dare or fair.
No. Oh,
Not
says no
in
quotes yet, unfortunately.
interesting. Maybe hold on. Let me go just to NBAD's Twitter and see if I can like link it for you.
Yeah.
Nah, I can't. I saw 6.
All
It
good.
wasn't 6 in a straight line, but it was a kill with 6 forward airs like in a row.
Yeah.
Incredible things happening in the Maple development. Surely we can top 8, guys. Surely we
Sure,
can.
I would love to see more Maple. Maple's a
One
very
more
interesting
fair,
character to
guys.
me.
One more fair.
Um, I'll link you this tweet in Discord so you can see it too. Um,
Okay.
here's the last gathering I have for you. It's just Maple getting like slightly pushed off ledge while, oh, yeah, doing a special getup.
Oh my god. Wait, I wonder if you're just dead.
I don't know.
Oh my god. Wait, that is so like
It's
oh
pretty
my god.
hilarious.
If this was Smash Review, we would experiment with that right now. I'll still do it after we end. I wonder if you're just dead or if you can like jump or wall
Surely
cling.
you can wall jump. Surely you can wall
Surely.
jump. But I
But
would
like
love to. Yeah.
maybe they didn't anticipate that being like a thing in the game, and so they were like full downward velocity, you know?
I guess it's possible. I would love to see more Maple. I think Maple's a very interesting character. Um, I kind of
Yeah.
want to learn her too, but I've got too much on my plate for that.
We
I've
can
got
maple
Force Burn
ditto
and
after this
Etalus,
if you want. We can maple ditto. I'm down.
maybe.
I'm game.
Actually, I don't think I'd get much out of Ditto. I need to like watch full streams, Rivals 1 Maple guide first.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah, that's it for my gatherings. And now it's time for the first time this is a truthful title in
Ooh.
Mender's Monthly Medal. It's Mender's Monthly Medal, everybody.
Mender's
Step
monthly
right
medal.
up.
Step right up. Welcome. Come on. Come see. Like I feel like I've been going with the obvious one a lot.
Yeah, but like
I feel like I have.
it's obvious for a
But
reason.
who else other than Spargo for Mender's monthly medal? And I mean it in just like if you think that this was just like a lucky run for like Spargo, like man, what a great bracket path, a bunch of Zetter burns in a
Yup.
row, and they all went game 5. It could have gone either way, surely. Like if you need to go back and watch the VOD and understand how Spargo is truly, and this will oh, I hope this plants the seed to make you watch the video when I put it out in the coming probably week about Spargo. This guy's innovating Rivals 2. This guy
Ooh.
doesn't play this game, and he's straight up innovating. I saw, the dare skip that we saw.
Yup.
Just I guess this is like only for you. I saw Boyko doing it.
Yeah.
Boyko was doing it in the set against Spargo, and
Interesting.
like I saw players not doing it and just like losing for it against Switch because Switch is a spot dodge down tilt merchant, which is great, good for you. But Spargo is straight up innovating the way that people are looking at the game. It definitely I've improved a lot since watching all of his sets with like a magnifying glass.
Yeah.
This is a miracle run. Of course, he went on to win the ultimate bracket the same day.
Yep.
They actually had to halt his like pause his like top 128 pools, do a different one so that it's because he was in top 8 of Rivals 2,
Yeah.
going so far. So it's nothing short of a miracle run, not in this sense of luck, but in the sense of like wonder and
Yes.
awe. And unfortunate, he will be at Genesis. He will be competing at
Yep.
Genesis. We don't know much more other than that. Like I said, something that like makes it more impressive and also equally as sad is that Spargo doesn't really have the passion for this game. He doesn't really have the fire. He's not looking to jump ship, right? Or like co-play. He pretty much said, we didn't even mention at the Coinbox, he got 25th.
Oh yeah.
So he has entered 2 tournaments. One of them was the Coinbox. He got 25th, but he beat BioBurb, which,
Yep.
like, showed me so the caliber to beat some of these more, like, stranger characters and, like, BioBurb, you know?
Yep.
And second at Let's Make Big Moves 2025. So,
So impressive.
yeah.
Insane stuff. I don't have anything to add on the Spargo front that we haven't
Yeah.
already said.
I think Kakasol in the interview was like he talked about having to adapt to Spargo, right? He
I
was
think
like,
so.
"Shout out to all the PM players. That
Yep.
Spargo guys, that Spargo guy." Wow. So,
Yeah.
oh man, so good. The assist for the monthly medal goes to Kakasol. He has the best interview. I was recently
He
watching
does
that.
have really good interviews. And that he was
Really?
rocking that scarf too.
Yeah, he had that shit on. So
Mhm.
that's really nice. Shout out Spargo, got the medal for Rivals 2. Wow, so
Wow.
inspiring. And that's just about gonna do it,
That's
huh?
gonna do it. Episode 5. I'm surprised
Kinda
how I thought that was gonna be way longer, but I think we spent, the right amount of
hour and a
time
half?
on.
Wait. Are we just in time for the Fortnite Friday? Yeah, it started at 9.
Oh, we gotta go. No more. That's it for the outro. AJ and Big Justice are on Fortnite
Yo,
Friday.
can we raid Connor Eats Pants?
No, we can't do that on YouTube.
Because we're on YouTube. Okay.
Oh.
Unfortunate. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Yep. Check out the Rano video if you haven't.
Check out the Rano video if you haven't. Stay tuned for this Spargo video. We're gonna be at Genesis. It's gonna be a great
We'll
time.
probably do one more DashBack as a preview of Genesis.
Something like that. Yeah.
We'll see what happens. All right, stay tuned, hit the bell, and go watch Fortnite Friday right now. Goodbye.
Bye.